Ooh. Thank you for staying with us. We'll now be looking at the Farm for All project. Farm for All project is an initiative of the John Bosco Onunkwo Foundation in partnership with the African Entrepreneurs Foundation, and is geared towards giving smallholder farmers a new lease of better income through the provision of land and agricultural inputs. It's been researched that despite the billions on agriculture, food inflation has gone up by 108% since 2015. That's in 5 years. We believe that if we can get a sizable number of Nigerians to get into farming, as the Farm for All project signifies, we'll be going a long way to bridging some of these gaps. We have with us in the studio the founder of the John Bosco Onunkwo Foundation, Mr. John Bosco Onunkwo, who joined us from our studios in Abuja. Good morning.
Hello, yeah, good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
I'm the country rep for the foundation.
Oh, so this is Afam Okwone.
Yeah, our partners, John Bosco Onunkwo, is supposed to hook up from Anambra State.
Oh.
Via Zoom.
Okay, Mr. Okwone, thank you for joining us this morning. Now, why this foundation?
Get that?
Why this foundation? What makes farming so important?
Okay, I can barely hear you, but I think if you asked me about the project, you know, the Farm for All project is an initiative of the John Bosco Onunkwo Foundation. Now, it's totally geared towards creating awareness for Nigerian farmers. Right now, we're starting out from Anambra State, and as it is now, the founder, John Bosco Onunkwo himself, has put in about $50 million into the project in trying to get farmers in Anambra State across Nigeria in the long term to begin to understand the basics of what agriculture is all about. Now, if you understand, there are different kind of funding in the agricultural sector. There's crowdfunding in the private sector, that is. There's crowdfunding, there's patient capital, and there's portfolio investment. What it's trying to do here is basically portfolio investment, which is long-term, but it goes to the extent of creating more value for farmers because you are patient. When you involve in portfolio investment, you're patient to a large extent. You know you're putting so much resources into these projects. You don't mind. You want to take your time and get the results. You want to get the benefits out of this. And the John Bosco Onunkwo Foundation is doing extremely well in that regard. And at African Entrepreneurs Foundation, we think it's necessary to, to ventilate what it's doing. And that's why the partnership is all about.
What exactly does the African Entrepreneurs Foundation do?
Okay, the African Entrepreneurs Foundation was founded. The founder is Mr. Joshua Wabo. Is a young Nigerian. We have a lot of ideas into which we try to put our ideas, into which we try to put our projects together, from education to health to agriculture. And what we basically try to do is to empower entrepreneurs. We try to bridge the gap between every sector of the economy, whether it's be education, whether it be healthcare, agriculture, like what we're presently trying to do. We try to bridge the gap between what people are trying to do in terms of entrepreneurs and trying to get resources. Because we know that entrepreneurs face a lot of challenges when it comes to financial resources, when it comes to capital. And we know that the only way they can be able to make ends meet is to get access to capital. And at the African Entrepreneurs Foundation, we try to go all out to source for means through which these entrepreneurs could get access to capital, to get access, not only capital, to training facilities also. So the African Entrepreneurs Foundation, our head office is in Ghana, but we're in Nigeria presently. I'm the country rep, and we're trying to see how we can be able to factor most of our projects in agriculture, because we see that agriculture is the way to go for now in Nigeria. That's why we're focusing on agriculture for now presently.
The African Entrepreneurs Foundation was founded by a Nigerian. So might I ask why the headquarters is in Ghana?
Okay, well, I wish my founder was there to answer that. But you know, because we're an African Entrepreneurs Foundation, we will not be able to have our offices in everywhere in the continent. But Ghana is a nice place. It's a neighboring country, and I'm in Nigeria. We're trying to make our work spread across the continent. Well, I wish he was here. We're able to say that clearly.
Okay. Where does the foundation get its funding from?
Okay, like I said, you know, we have a lot of areas which we look at, from healthcare to education to agriculture, and because we try to bridge the gap between what entrepreneurs are trying to do in various sectors, we understand that there are a lot of well-meaning Nigerians who have capital, who want to invest, and we try to do our research. And when we do our research, we find out that there are a lot of Nigerians who want to also put money into projects, into entrepreneurship, into trying to build entrepreneurial capacity. And that's what led us to the John Bosco Onuko Foundation, to be able to identify him and say, okay, this is a Nigerian who is passionate about agriculture, who is passionate about food security in Nigeria, who is passionate about getting Nigerians to begin to understand the basics, the importance of agriculture in Nigeria. And so in such ways, when we go around, when we do our research, we're able to understand that some Nigerians want to get into projects, want to involve themselves into partnering small-scale entrepreneurs or large-scale entrepreneurs or medium-scale entrepreneurs. And when we're able to do that research, we get our facts right and we connect them together and trying to bridge that gap. So getting our funding just from individuals, presently for now, will mean well for different sectors of the economy in Nigeria.
Okay. We've been joined by the founder of the John Bosco Foundation, Mr. John Bosco Onunkwo, who joins us via Zoom. Good morning, Mr. Onunkwo. Mr. John Bosco Onunkwo, are you there? Farm for all, Mr. John Bosco. Okay, so Mr. Afam, does your foundation have any particular preference for sectors that you deal with?
No, if you say particular preference for sectors,
yes, is agric, for instance, a priority for you? Is agric a priority for you?
Agric is a priority for us in Nigeria today, and agric is a priority for us. That's the basic truth. There's no being saying the truism about what the agricultural sector is going through in Nigeria at this present. And I mean, with the advent of the COVID-19 pandemic, like what our partner, Mr. John Bosco Onunkwo, said, the advent of the COVID-19 pandemic, and equally, not just the advent of the COVID-19 pandemic, we see the dwindling resources in Nigeria's oil and gas sector. So there's a need for us to focus on agriculture. Besides, the government is trying to close down the borders in terms of import of agricultural produce. And this is important. This is very, very important. I mean, the agricultural sector. And Engineer John Bosco Onunkwo is someone whom we cannot take away that passion from. And it's a priority for us, it's a priority for him, and it's something that every Nigerian should key into the Farm for All project being launched by Engineer John Bosco Onunkwo Foundation.
Mr. John Bosco Onunkwo is finally ready. Good morning, Mr. John Bosco Onunkwo, who is the founder of the John Bosco Foundation. Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. Can you hear me?
Thank you for joining us. Now, I just heard Mr. Afam refer to you as an engineer, but here you are, Farm for All. How did you find your way into this agric project? Can you hear me?
Yes, I heard when you said I'm an engineer. Yes, I'm an engineer. And you talked about Farm for All, but I didn't hear the question you asked me. Can you come back again?
I said you are an engineer and you're setting up a Farm for All project. How did you find your way into farming? Or how did you get involved in this Farm for All project?
I, yes, I'm an engineer, but I believe in the principle of diversification as a survival strategy. Because when you consider the different dwindling economy and the situation of things, the survival strategy, the end thing now is for one to diversify. In as much as we have areas of our strength, it's also good to also identify some other areas of our strength to make sure that we make ends meet. So I believe in diversification, and I believe in diversification agenda of our president.
Okay. What is Farm for all about? I hear it's domiciled in Anambra State. Am I correct?
Yes, it's domiciled in Anambra State. What I'm trying, white collar is gradually phasing out. And what we are into now is a blue collar job. Farm for all is what I'm trying to do to sensitize our people, especially our youth, to make sure that they go into agriculture, to make sure that they identify the benefits of agriculture. Because previously people are seeing agriculture as a dirty job or a job that one cannot make ends meet. So we are trying to do Farm for all to make this sensitization and also to create the enabling environment, identify and understand the importance of agriculture.
Now, what exactly do you mean by smallholder?
Because a lot of us are looking out for white collar jobs.
What exactly do you mean by smallholder farmers? Are these commercial farmers or people who do farming just as a small business?
I can't hear you, but I can't get you very well.
Smallholder farmers, those are your target. What do you mean by smallholder farmers?
Those
Mr.
are my target, are the youths. What I mean by the youths are there are many of our youths who don't.
Mr. Anunko? Mr. Afam, how is your marriage with Project for All, your marriage, so to speak? How is your marriage going with Farm for All?
Okay, presently, if I got it correctly, you mean the marriage with the project in terms of Farm for All project. Okay, the marriage has been going very smoothly. In fact, to the extent that presently the financial target for Engineer John Bosco Onukwo, the foundation that is 50 million US dollars. It's putting into these small-scale older farmers and cooperatives also in Anambra State, not just to give them access to lands and seedlings, but to also give them access to training facilities. Because the truth is, most farmers, they say, okay, I want to become a startup farmer. But you see, like EPEPSA, there's an EPEPSA, I think it's in Ogun State. What they try to do is to allow you to learn. They create an avenue for you like IT. You come and learn for a period of 1 year or 2 years. You learn the basics. If it's fishery, livestock, or grains, whatever it is you want to go into, you try to learn it. And then at the end of it, you begin to practice it, you begin to go into processing. And that is important. That's important for what John Bosco is trying to do. Basically, to train farmers. And that's what our marriage, the marriage tries to synergize. The marriage is a synergy between training small-scale farmers through cooperatives, and giving them access to lands and even repayable and non-repayable grants. You must let that should be known. Non-repayable grants. They also get access to non-repayable grants. And the marriage has been going smoothly. And I need to give it up for Engineer John Bosco Onukwo. It's not an easy task. And we want to call on Nigerians across the country to also look at ways of investing into our young persons, into small scale, into small older farmers, to build a capacity. Because if everybody can begin to do this, it will go a long way into bridging the crippling effects that we presently have in the agricultural sector in Nigeria today.
John Bosco, tell us about the hectares of farmlands which you recently granted to some agric cooperatives in Anambra State.
Okay, the farm is located. First of all, the first one is in Awa in Orumba North local government, and that one is almost about 500 hectares. And the other one in Umunze in Orumba South local government, all in Anambra State, is another 500 hectares of land. And because of the good location of the land, agricultural land, we have the areas we have partitioned for cattle rearing, and want to go into local cattle, we already started their rice farming, because the land gets into the area that is good for rice farming, and also the snail and the fishery. And another important one is that we identified the special breed of cassava that grew within 8 months. We are also cultivating it, and also a special type of maize that we have also initiated. But the one that we are already started and we are harvesting is the one of is a cucumber that is really doing well in that area. So basically, I initiated it, I started it, I bought all these lands. And what I'm doing is to get in these youths, give them lands, and also make sure they go for training, like my partner is telling you, so that they can understand the basic rudiments that are involved. And why we kickstarted with this year is for us to prepare the ground so that this next planting season, from January, February, we will catapult it to the next level. They must have gone for training and come back, and they will all now specialize in different areas. The land and the neighboring environment are already provided, as you can see when we showed it in the previous telecast in the channels.
Yes, how did you get all this land that you're giving out to farmers?
First of all, I discovered this land in Awa. The Awa own is the first one I discovered. As I speak to you, they have a lot of land there. And the beauty of this land is that it's located very close to the third road, very, very close. So I had a discussion with them, and I decided to say if I can buy a reasonable number of it, and the other ones they can give me on leave. So the 500 plus was the one I bought. We negotiated, I bought, and I paid. That was before the COVID. And the other one, we now went into partnership on lease agreement, because I promised them that I'm going into digital agriculture. And I promised them that this will bring development in their area. And also, most of their youths who aren't doing anything, we also into agreement that I also give them this training. They have a quota, so that most of them can also benefit from the agriculture. It was in the point of we taking off from our own that I also have a friend who told me that Umunze is very close to my town. I'm from Umuchu. We have a common boundary. And the boundary between Umuchu and Umunze, there's a very big landmass of farm. I discovered another farm there, which is still open for sale. And I have to get in there, got another 300 plots, which I paid. And also the process, that 300 plus is where I'm doing my cucumber and the maize now, which you saw that we're already harvesting. Then the remaining plots, which is almost 1,800, we're already having also another type of agreement like we had in Awa, so that it will benefit the people and my own cooperative society, because I have quite up to 500 youths who are members of my cooperative society. And so that's basically how I got it. I can tell you there's enough lands. It's just for people to pick interest. When you get interest, you go into these interior villages, you see a lot of land. There are some, even all these old farmers who don't have enough energy to do their farm, they don't have resources. They are waiting for people who can buy their land or who can lease out their land so that the lands will be more productive for overall interest of our people.
Okay. Any plan for moving this project from Anambra to other states of the Federation?
Sure, sure. We first of all want to drink tea before we go to over tea. We want to make sure that we put this one very well. As I speak to you, I'm also discussing with my friend from Abia State. We want to basically concentrate in the southeast because you can agree with me that in the northern part of the country, they know more about agriculture because they have this advantage about their land mass. So we'll have a partnership with my friend in Abia State. Already, one of my motivators is my friend from Ebonyi State. Ebonyi also have gone far in agriculture. So when we make sure we put this one, the motion on, the guy from I've forgotten the name, his town in Abia State, we have to kickstart his own. The Enugu State own is also waiting within the Soka axis. We'll discover a lot of large mass of Umudike area. They are also waiting. So I want to use it to integrate the Southeast, getting our youths, because the whole idea is for us to rededicate ourselves to rediscover our roots. We want people to think back. I want our youth to think home. I want our youth to know that with what we have and with the enabling environment, that people can be gainfully employed on agriculture, food sufficiency. These are part of the reasons why I tell people get ready for the aftermath of this coronavirus, because the impact of coronavirus will be coming from the subsequent years. And if people like I've been creating this awareness will key in, I can assure you that hunger, at least will wipe out hunger, and a lot of our youth will be gainfully employed in agriculture, and it will divert their mind from a lot of social vices.
Very important, John Bosco. But how receptive have the youth been in those areas you're talking about?
I use the strategy of our people, like, you have to bring them in, you have to give them soft landing. When you tell somebody, come, I'm giving you 3 plots of land, 10 plots of land, free. And not just this land, I will also train you. I'm not just even training, and I will also give you, because also we're also making arrangements to buy most of this equipment, especially on rice, rice processing. We have an arrangement that we're bringing in some equipment for our rice processing. And after trading them, the land is their own. They have what they call tractors and all these things, which we will make sure we use to make them cultivate. It's just attractive. So what we are doing, and I can assure you, this COVID period made a lot of people to think back, made a lot of people to think home. When a man is hungry and is hungry, you tell him, come, let's do this. And you give him a enabling environment, provide logistics. And my foundation has run for more than 10, 12 years. And I've been doing all this youth empowerment, youth awareness, capacity building to our youth. Because actually my target is to make sure that these youths are engaged positively. So I use all those kind of strategies to bring them in. And once they come, they see even me leaving my oil and gas sector to also be practicing it, because everybody wants to see. I don't believe in theoretical. I believe in practical. They saw the land, they saw the cultivation, they saw everything, and there's an enabling environment. Is bringing them in. And when you get the positive youths engaged, the ones who tend to be negative must turn to positive. Is in present continuous tense.
You also organize markets for their produce for them.
Sure. You can even agree with me that there are markets for all this. The demands are so many. The rice, the cassava, the demands are so many. Once you bring out products like within that Orumba North and Orumba South, we have a big market in Umunze, and we even have another one just close to Ekulobia, that area. And do you even know another thing? I have 5 or 6 big trucks that can be able to transport most of these finished goods when they are harvested to different other areas. They can easily be marketed. So marketing is just a very easy thing once the products are all harvested. And once they're harvested, everybody that benefited from this, whatever you sell, the gain is entirely yours, so that it can now help you to cultivate more and more. So
when was your first
our target,
harvest? When
we're
was your
just
first
doing the first
harvest?
we're just doing the first harvest now. Like I told you, we started some months back. We're
Okay.
doing the first harvest on cucumber and the first harvest on maize. The cassava will still
Maize.
take long time because that one is about 8 months processing. And the rice we're harvesting by end of middle of December towards end of December. That's when the rice will be ready for harvest.
Okay. When is the next planting season?
With the mechanized system of farming now, you can even cultivate things in dry season because of the irrigation. There are some of these crops that can now grow on a dry season so far you irrigate them. But our next farming season is starting by end of January. There are some that will do well then because we also have there's a stream that cut across my land, and we also have bought what do you call it? Some of these equipment that will be good for irrigation. So as we are harvesting, we are starting the next planting season. But what we delay a little bit is the training they will go. They will go for training in Cotonou for like 2 months and come back. But while they are there, our planting season will also be going on. So when they come, they key into the areas I apportioned all of them, and we hit the ground.
Is there any special reason why the training is in Cotonou?
That is to me, that is the best place we have a training ground for. But yesterday I heard that school in Cotonou, they have an affiliate with somewhere Federal University of Agriculture in Umudike. I heard about it. In fact, as I speak to you after this interview, I'm going to Enugu now to have a physical inspection of the facility and get on the spot assessment. So if we can, if what I heard is true, it will save a lot of cost. Then we'll go to Umudike there to do the training instead of going to Cotonou. That will cost a lot of money.
Lekon Yusuf says something here, but it seems that he has misunderstood everything we have said. Please be careful with any investment funds seeking program you push out. Remember, whole corn, they advertised and people invested en masse. Unfortunately, all those who invested are regretting it. But you are not asking for anybody to invest. You've set up a foundation and you are the one offering people training, offering them land, offering them seedlings and everything. Am I correct?
Yes, very correct. I agree with you because a lot of 419s are there. I'm just trying to be very careful in terms of that because what I've been doing previously is on my own, within the foundation capacity. So whenever I'm assessing this thing, I need to be extremely careful to check the pros and the cons and be sure that I get the one that is very, very legitimate.
At the end of the day, Mr. John Bosco, what's in it for you? At the end of the day, what's in it for you? John Bosco?
The network is breaking. I can hear you again.
I said at the end of the day, what's in it for you? You can't hear me? Oh, all right then. Mr. Afam, what's your last word on all of this? I mean, the good work that John Bosco is doing, getting land for people, training them how to farm, you know, teaching them everything they need, even providing transportation to take their produce to the market.
Okay, our last word is the fact that by November 2021, that's next year, the project is expected to meet the Millennium Investment Goals of the United Nations. And you know, the Millennium Investment Goals, part of them is set on food security, eradication of hunger, the crippling food prices, in terms of try to cripple food prices, creation of employment, and means of livelihood for the local populace. So my last word is that John Bosco Onuko has taken the right step through his foundation, trying to empower Nigerians who are needing to make ends meet for themselves, who are needing to become self-employed, who are needing to become entrepreneurs in their own capacity. And it's something that I think most Nigerians should begin to look at, most Nigerians who have the capacity just like him. Because the truth is, the government alone cannot do all of this. We are aware of the rising food prices in Nigeria, which is, of course, due to the climate change. You know, most of our family in Nigeria is rain-fed and not irrigation-fed. We also understand the issues of insecurity, which has also led to the rising food prices. The shutting down of the borders also has also led to rising food prices because, to a large extent, we have a lot of population in Nigeria and we do not have the capacity to produce food to meet our population. And if such projects, Farm for All projects, is being initiated by several other well-meaning Nigerians who have this capacity to do this, it will create to a large extent, give Nigerians a breathing space, and we can be able to say, okay, yes, we are on the map, we're on the road to ensuring food security in Nigeria. John Bosco Onuko Foundation is doing all of this, and we intend to do more of such projects with this foundation, and is awesome, is sublime.
So, Afam, how much is this going to affect food prices and how much is it going to affect food security in Nigeria? You answer all these after this break. Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Afam, back to you. How much do you think this initiative is going to help food security?
Okay, yeah, before the break, you also said how it's going to affect food prices, how is it going to help with food pricing?
Food prices,
and
yes.
Food security. Yes, the truth is, you know, like if you listen to John Bosco Onuko clearly, he said he's getting these lands and he's also engaging people within the communities to farm on these lands. And presently, like we got some reports in Nigeria that some farmers are not able to go to their lands to farm because of banditry, you know, and it's affecting food production in Nigeria, and that to a large extent or to some extent creates a large, a rise in food prices. But with this project, you don't have to go to a long distance to farm. The farm is within your locality. You just wake up in the morning, you go to your farm, you till the ground, you yield your crops, you produce your harvests, and we're able to see that through such initiatives, there will be a large inflow of agricultural produce into our markets in the southeast, and then it also creates, to a large extent, the availability of foodstuffs in the market, and that can also create food security for Nigeria because we need to farm, we need to produce our own food in Nigeria. Is important because we cannot underestimate the fact that the federal government shutting down our borders to a large extent is a blessing in disguise. It's tough for a lot of Nigerians, but in the long term, it's going to pay off. And this is a project, as it stands, with the vision, with the mindset of the founder, this is a project that has the capacity to create more agricultural produce in our markets in Nigeria. And in so doing, we can rest assured to an extent that food security will be taken care of.
Right. Back to you, Mr. John Bosco. Are you there? Mr. Onuko?
Yes, I'm there.
John, okay, you're there. Now, Jide Buraimo tweets,
Yes.
it's a good and generous program. What's in it for you, Mr. John Bosco? It's a good and generous program. What's in it for you, Mr. John Bosco? Hear me. Mr. Anunkwo, did you hear me? Jide Buraimo says it's a good and generous program, but what is in it for you, Mr. John Bosco?
Okay. The most important thing is the result. As a humanitarian, I'm a philanthropist, I'm a humanitarian, I'm a Rotarian. I believe in service above self. I believe in service to humanity. I believe in putting smiles on the face of the people. I'm a core Rotarian, whatever you do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And above all, will it be beneficial to all? So far, this can put smiles on people. So far, it's beneficial to the youth. And so far, it will bring food to the table. The youth bringing food to the table, their parents will enjoy, and hunger will be reduced, if not drive away. I mean, I'm fulfilled. I'm a totally fulfilled man. So that's my vision, to make sure that I contribute my quota to render service to humanity.
Okay. That is very stoic indeed, Mr. John Bosco Onunkwo. Thank you very much. You are the founder of the John Bosco Onunkwo Foundation. And we also had Mr. Afam Okone, who's the country rep, African Entrepreneurs Foundation, who are partners with the John Bosco Foundation in this project for Farm for All project. Farm for All project. Yes. Thank you very much, and we only wish you good luck and God bless the work of your hands. Thank you very much for joining us. And that wraps up.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And that wraps up Sunrise for this day, the 21st of November, 2020. Thank you very much for staying with us. We hope you enjoyed being with us, and we'll bring you a fresh edition next Saturday. In the meantime, be the best that you can be, and remember, in this Christmas period, show love to someone. Many, many have been affected by the COVID-19, and many have been affected by the EndSARS protests, who all just need someone to tell them a good word to make their day. Be that person who will make someone's day. Thank you very much. My name is Alero Edu. See you next week.